Smoky Barbier Heating.
Welcome to The Heat, presented by Smoky Barbier Heating in Manitowoc.
Corey with us from Smoky Barbier. Hello, Corey.
Good morning, Jim.
Sliding into, fall as the leaves are going to be turning here and things are getting, it's heating season.
It's the beginning of heating season. It has arrived.
Okay. What do we need to be aware of for heating season?
One thing we'd like to discuss today is the seriousness of carbon monoxide. So, carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas that is produced by any fossil fuel or material that is burned. So it is a byproduct of combustion.
It's also known as the silent killer.
It's also known as a silent killer because you can't see it, taste it, or smell it. So if you do happen to have carbon monoxide leaking into your home, that is a potential for a health hazard or risk to those occupants of that structure. So like we said, you can't see it, smell it, or taste it, but there are some symptoms that come along with a carbon monoxide leak that happens in your home, or an accumulation of carbon monoxide that happens from a misfiring appliance like your gas-fired furnace. So some of those symptoms are flu-like symptoms, headaches, dizziness, upset stomach, vomiting, confusion, and worst case scenario, even death. So it's not something you really want to take a chance or a risk on having that furnace operating incorrectly, because you can have that potential of carbon monoxide accumulating in that home.
Okay, so it's the byproduct of burning. So the oven, if you have a gas stove, the oven causes carbon monoxide. But the furnace really is what we're talking about here. A gas furnace or anything that burns, could be an oil furnace, causes carbon monoxide. That's typically vented out of the building. What stops it, or what happens when that builds up in the house, or how does that cause the buildup in the house?
So an improperly working appliance like a furnace, gas dryer, stove, space heater can cause carbon monoxide. So typically you'll see carbon monoxide occurring if there's improperly vented materials. So we have holes in vent pipes or blocked flue pipes of chimneys, collapsed chimneys from the inside out. So a lot of these issues, homeowners can't really tell that you're potentially having a risk of carbon monoxide until it's there. So you really need a professional to come in, test that equipment with a carbon monoxide tester, and really inspect chimneys, flues, and vent pipes to make sure everything's clear, and also make sure that that combustion of that furnace is operating correctly so that you don't have an excess of carbon monoxide coming into that home.
So maybe even an animal, like a bird could have put a nest in the chimney, or bees could have built a hive in there, or squirrels or anything. Have you seen things like that?
We see quite a few bird nests in flue pipes. We see quite a few chimneys that will actually start to degrade from the inside out. So you stand outside, you see your chimney poking out of the roof. It's a masonry chimney. Everything looks great. But what happens is on the inside, those bricks and that mortar and all of those things start to fall from the inside out or from the inside back in, and they actually will plug that vent pipe up. And a lot of your older furnaces don't have the safeties and safeguards put in to recognize that there's a plugged vent, which means now you have carbon monoxide entering the home, and that appliance is just burning freely, not recognizing that problem, which can cause illness or death to the occupants of that home.
Carbon monoxide poisoning is a serious deal, and it needs to be looked into, or at least tested, just for a little bit of reassurance. Of course, everyone should have a carbon monoxide detector in their home also.
Correct. Carbon monoxide detectors are required on every living level of your home. So we will tell customers, get one that is battery and power operated. So you always have that battery backup. We always have that risk of power going out, and then homeowners decide they're going to heat their home in a different fashion, whether they put a propane heater or a kerosene heater, or they open up their gas range and they start heating the house with their gas range. Now that the power's out, now you have a CO detector that's also working off battery that can alarm you and let you know that you're doing something wrong. That's not recommended. You have carbon monoxide in the house. Stop what you're doing. it's dangerous.
Carbon monoxide check comes with a furnace tune-up. How do we get in touch with Smokey Bar Beer?
You can contact Smokey Bar Beer Heating by phone at 682-2073 or stop down and talk to an associate at 1516 Memorial Drive here in Manitowoc.
Smoky Bar Beer Heating. Whatever it takes.
This has been The Heat, presented by Smokey Bar Beer Heating in Manitowoc. Tune in again next Tuesday morning at 10:15 for another episode of The Heat with Smokey Bar Beer Heating.